Welcome to CITC 2337. This is the live lab for Lab 3.3 configuration of VPNs. In this lab, we'll be going over setting up a VPN between two subnets. We'll set up server A as a VPN server, set up server C as a VPN client, and we'll be using a block of IP addresses in the RAS configuration. Then we'll use network policy to allow only marketing to use a VPN, and then we'll set up the L2TP protocol with a pre-shared key, and then we'll demonstrate the use of the VPN with the marketing and movies group. The first thing we'll be going over is setting up server A as the VPN server. So let's go ahead and start with the configuration. The very first thing we'll be doing is installing remote access onto server A. So let's go over to our server manager. And in here we just want to go to manage, add roles and features, installation type, hit next, next, and then scroll down to the role of remote access and then check that. Next, 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 and then in here you just want to check the direct access and VPN, add the management tools, next, install. And we just gotta wait for the installation to occur, so I'm probably just gonna go ahead and skip ahead for this part. So we just finished the installation, now hit close, and let's do manage, tools, and then routing and remote access, and a dialog should pop up in a second eventually. Okay, so inside of remote access you want to go to our server, right click it, and configure enable routing and remote access. Okay, so let's hit next, and we just want to leave the default of remote access dial-up or VPN. Hit next. Inside of here, you want to check the VPN to receive connections from remote clients through the internet. Hit next, and it says less than 2 network interfaces were detected on this machine. For standard VPN connections, at least 2 network interfaces need to be installed. That's fine. Just hit OK. Okay, so let's just go over to our server A settings real quick, and we're just adding another network adapter. So let's do add adapter custom. Let's do VPN net 2. Okay, and it should reload real quick. Okay. Okay, so let's try this again. Oh, let's say okay. Fair enough. Let's just redo the launcher maybe. Figure enable. Yeah, it works now. But let's click this one, uncheck that, because this is only a simulation. Let's see, how do you want IP addresses to be assigned to remote clients? We do not want to do automatically because we do not want to use a DHCP. So let's do from a specified range of addresses, and next, and then new, let's specify them real quick. Let's do our 10.1.1. Let's do 50. 10.1.1.59, and that will leave us with 10 addresses to use. And for managing multiple remote access servers, we just want to leave this check no. We do not want a radius server because we only have one remote access server. So let's hit next and finish it up. And you just want to hit OK on this message, and I'm just going to go ahead and set it up real quick. Alright, and that'll be the first part, and now we're just going to set up the network policy to allow only the marketing group to access the VPN. So for that, we just want to go and right click this and launch NPS network policy, and it should load the window up. There it is. And inside of here we just want to go over network policies and do new, and let's name this policy name marketing access, since we're allowing marketing group to use a VPN only. And type of network access, let's do remote access server VPN dial-up. Next, add conditions, and we want to use the marketing group in here, then add group and specify the marketing group. Check the names. Okay. Next, and then specify access permission. We just want to leave this first one checked. And then in here, we just want to leave this be. And then you can figure out those constraints in here. Maybe we just want to skip through that. And then here's the settings. And in here, you can do the settings, but we're just going to skip through that because we don't want to mess with any of it. Just the defaults, and then hit finished. Okay, so now we're just going to go and set up the L2TP protocol with a pre-share key. So for us to do that, we have to go over to our server A, and we're done with the network policy. And we just want to right click this and do properties, and inside of here we can security tab, and let's go ahead and start setting it up. So right here is allow custom IPsec policy for L2TP connection, and we want to check it, and we're just going to use a pre-share key of 123 since this is only a simulation. Then hit apply, and it wants to restart our routing and remote access, and that's fine, so we're just going to do that real quick. And now we have the L2TP protocol set up. We can go ahead and demonstrate the VPN by logging on to a member of the marketing group, and we would have to log into it and set it up real quick also. So let's just go ahead and move on to the next part. Okay, so we want to log in as B. Smith, which is our marketing group member, for us to demonstrate the connection of the VPN. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. So other user, B. Smith, and then password. And since this is the first time loading, it's going to take a little bit. And we just want to go down over here to Networking Sharing Center, and inside of here we want to set up a new connection on the network. So let's do connect to your workplace, which is our VPN connection, and then we have two options. We can dial directly, or we can use my internet connection. Let's just do the internet connection, and we're just going to set it up later. And for the internet address, you want to type in our remote rerouting and remote access server name, IP address. So 10.1.1.11 is our address, and let's do VPN connection. Let's call it server A at the end of it, and then just leave everything else default. And it's going to create that real quick. Alright, and inside of here we just want to change adapter settings, and we want to right click our adapter properties, and let's go over to our security tab. And security tab, we're going to be configuring a couple of things real quick. One of them being the protocol that we'll be using for our VPN. Be layer 2 tunneling protocol with IPsec, L2TP, and advanced settings, and use a pre-share key for authentication. And that'll be our 123 as we configured earlier on the routing and remote access server. And then down here we want to allow these protocols, and we want to use chap 2 as our authentication, and everything else should be configured properly and accordingly, and hit OK. So now we just want to go ahead and log in with our B. Smith onto our server A. So let's do connect, and let's type in our information, see how it turns out. Connecting. And we're now connected to the VPN using our B. Smith, which is the marketing group. So now we're just going to show that will not allow you to log in with someone else, like the movies group for instance. So we're just going to go ahead and switch the users and log on to our John Wayne account real quick. So let's go ahead and log off of this. And let's do other user, and let's log in with John Wayne. And this will be the first time I log in on server C with John Wayne, so it's going to take a second to load the information up, personalization. And then we just want to go down over to our sharing center again. Oh, wrong click. And just going to go ahead and configure up our adapter again to connect to the same site that it did on B. Smith. So let's just run through that real quick. 10.1.1.11, create, change adapter settings, right click properties, security, events, pre-share, 1, 2, 3, connect, let's do class 2050 John Wayne, and the same password as previously. And let's see, the connection was prevented because of policy configuration around server. Then let's see, it says password may not match authentication method. Please contact your connection profile. And this is simply because this remote access server is not configured to allow VPN connection from outside groups such as John Wayne. And in review, we set up a VPN between the two subnets. We made server A the VPN server, server C the VPN client. We used a block of IP addresses in the RAS configuration. We set up a network policy to allow only the marketing group to use a VPN. We set up L2TP protocol with a pre-share key, and then we demonstrated the use of the VPN with the marketing and movies groups.